Hello guys, and welcome to this video in F123 where I will show you a hot lap around Jeddah, then the setup I use, and finally the race strategy. So let's jump right into the hot lap. Get the DRS on for the straight, and then coming down to turn 1 you want to brake just before the 100 meter board. Going down to third and then down to second in turn 2, and then push that throttle. I pushed too much and got some wheel spin, but it was okay. Coming down to turn 4 you want to brake around 55 meters before and then start turning in at the black box. Going down to 4th, and then as you hit the apex you want to push that throttle to get some good exit speed. Then around the next corners you want to go full throttle, just make sure you keep the car inside the track limits. Before turn 9 you want to just tap the brakes just before you're turning in at the corner, and then get as close to the wall so you easily can take turn 10 flat out. I saved a bit on the curbs at the exit, so I lost a little time, but not too much. Then coming down to turn 13 you want to brake just after the 50 meter board where you also start turning in. Then get as close to the wall and push the throttle. Here you need to learn how much and when you can push the throttle, but earlier than most expect. And then just full throttle down to turn 16 where you want to brake just before the 50 meter board. Going down to 5th and push the throttle at the apex, staying in 5th, and then when you exit turn 17 you want to go into 6th gear. And then just full throttle and remember the DRS. Coming down to turn 22 you want to brake just under the black box, start turning in at the 50 meter board, going down to 6 and just push the throttle before the apex. Then just DRS and full throttle down this part of the track, staying on the left side before the last corner where you brake right after the 100 meter board, going down to 3rd. And then remember the DRS for the last time, and then that was a lap around Jeddah in the time 1:26.793. And then that makes us in the top 2000. But a lot more time to gain with more practice and the perfect lap. As you can see, the theoretical time says that I can gain 15 tenths. But let me show you my great setup. So this setup is very stable and faster in the corners, but still pretty fast on the straights as well. So for the aerodynamics we use 23 on the front and 19 on the rear. For transmission I use 55 and 51. Then for geometry it's all the way to the right for camber and all the way to the left for toe. Then suspension is 36, 13 and 1 for anti-roll bar, and then 36 and 40 for ride height. Brakes are 154, and then the front tires are 22.5, while the rears are 22.0. So that was the setup, and then let's jump right into the race strategy. So strategy for this race is going to be medium soft, or maybe do soft mediums if you think there will be an early safety car. And you can put around 25.0 laps of fuel or even underfuel the car as you don't use a lot of fuel. The race setup is a bit different, so change the wings to 21 and 17 and then change the tire pressure to 22.0 on the front and 20.3 on the rear, and then you're good to go. Then get some heat in the tires and hit the purple. We started P2, so we should be able to get the win here in Jeddah. We had a great launch and got into P1 going into the first corner and didn't get any damage. Then after 2 laps we have around 10% tire wear, but after the formation lap we had around 2%, so each lap is going to be around 4%. Then with this degradation you have around 60% at the end of lap 14, where you also want to go into the pits. Coming into the pit lane you want to brake around the wall where it says Saudi Arabian GP and go like this, to make sure you hit the pit limit. Then change the tires to soft and remember to turn in when it shows 0.5 to hit the purple. And then the tires are actually not feeling cold when coming out of the pits, so try to push a bit more than you usually do when you go out of the pits. But then I wanted to show you a lap around Jeddah where you can see the tire temperatures. It wasn't a perfect lap, but it will do. But it's almost the same as in the hot lap, but can be a bit more difficult to drive in the fast corners, especially in sector 1, as the car is pretty heavy. So have this in mind when driving, and then you can see on the temperatures they stay at a great spot, so the setup works very well for the tires. Now I will let you have the rest of the lap to yourself, where you can see that we gain a lot on the cars in front. So make sure you use the new tires to your advantage. Then coming across the line and we got a 1:29.646 and the fastest lap time, even though we got blocked a bit by the cars in front at the end. The tire wear is around 5% each lap on the soft and they are very fast at the first few laps. But at the end of the last lap we had the Mercs right behind us as their tires were better at the end, but we still stayed ahead. Our tires were around 55%, so this strategy works perfectly. But our fuel load was plus 1.07 laps, so that was way too much. So use what I said at the beginning of the race. But then that was it from me. If you want more of this, please like and subscribe, and then I'll see you in the next one.